So in this session, we will discuss about static net. We will discuss about static net. In the last session, we have discussed PAT, right? Port address translation. Okay. So in last session, we have discussed about PAT, port address translation. So in this session, we will discuss about static net. Okay. The main difference between these two nets, PAT is always used for outbound communication, and static NAT is used for inbound communication. Remember this point, keep in your mind, very important this point. PAT is used to translate source IP address and source port number, and static NAT is used to translate destination IP address. That is the main difference. So in the PAT we saw, right, so router translates source IP address only, but in the static NAT what happened, routers will translate destination IP address. This is another main difference between PAT and the static NAT. In static NAT, static means manual, right? So static NAT translates one-to-one translation, one-to-one IP. If we have one public IP, if we have one private IP, we require one public IP. The main purpose of the static NAT is inbound communication. Inbound communication means, see, let's understand now. So here I have three servers, abc.com, example.com, and xyz.com. Example.com is my company web server. So if anyone wants to know about my company, they can know by accessing this server from anywhere, anyone in the world. Okay. But if anyone in the world wants to access this example.com server, this server should have public IP, right? But right now this server is using private IP, 172.16.1.3 IP. If you have a private IP in your server, outside user cannot access this server, right? Because they are coming through internet. They are not part of our company. So how outside user can access this server? So as a network administrator, this is your responsibility. So you should provide the this server access to external users. So how to configure this? So here, as per this topology, just assume like this is my company and this is outside. So here these systems are the outside users. Just assume like these are outside users. These users should be able to access these servers, but with public IP, not a private IP. So first we need to take the public IPs. Here how many servers are there? Here I have three servers. The server 1 is 172.16.1.2, server 2 is 172.16.1.3, server 4 is 172.16.1.4. For each server we require one public IP. If you want to provide the access to the servers from external users, so each server require the one public IP. The first we need to purchase three public IPs from the ISP. See here, I have already network. Network is 12.0.0.0/20. For this is the network 12.0.0.0/24. So in this network, I am using 12.0.0.1 and I am using 12.0.0.2, right? So remaining IPs are free IPs, right? So any one free IP can be used here. So this is 12.0.0.0.3. This is 12.0.0.4, and this is 12.0.0.0.5. But actually private IP means internal IP. Okay, internal IP is 172.16.1.2. This is 172.16.1.3. This is 172.16.1.4. Okay, So these are the internal IPs and public IPs are these are the public, these are the external IPs. Okay, if any user from internet wants to access these servers, they use these public IPs. They can access the servers only with the public IP. They cannot access with the private IP. Remember this point. Okay, this is purpose of static NAT. Okay, so users are coming from outside. Okay, remember this point, first point. So now here we need to configure the first configure interfaces, router interfaces, and configure static default route. That is a common in our edge router. So in our edge router, first configure interfaces, 3 interfaces, and configure static default route. Static default route. So I already prepared a configuration. See, this is edge router configuration. Enable configure terminal hostname edge. You can use any name here, edge router or NAT router, anything. You can use any name. And interface F0x1, IP address 192.168.1.1, no shutdown, exit. Interface F0x0, IP address, no, mask, no shutdown. Interface F1x0, IP address, mask, no shutdown, and default route, right? IP route 0.0.0.0 and 0.0.0.0 via 12.0.0.0. And copy this. One second. Okay. So now copy this configuration. Copy, paste in router. Paste in router. First no and paste here. So now configure ISP router. This is configuration, ISP router configuration. Just to only configure interfaces. Enable configure terminal hostname it. Okay. Hostname is ISP and interface F1x0 and F0x0. Copy. Okay. So I already configured servers. So now configure servers. This is abc.com, this is example.com, and this is the xyz.com. So first configure HTTP service on these 3 servers. So click on server, go to services, here HTTP and edit here abc.com and second server example.com. Go to services, HTTP, edit example.com. The third server is xyz.com. These three servers should be accessed by public, right? So to access these servers from internet, okay, so these three servers should have the public IP. But right now these servers are running with the private IP. Private IPs are nothing but internal IPs, okay? 172.16.1.2, 1.3, 1.4 are internal IPs, okay? So now, first here, configure NAT in router, okay, edge router. So go to edge router. This is the syntax, okay? This is syntax. To configure static NAT, this is the syntax. IP root, IP NAT inside source static and private IP and public IP, right? So now I have a three servers, right? So here the first I will configure NAT here. Configuration is IP NAT inside source static private IP 172.16.1.2 and the public IP 12.0.0.3 and IP NAT inside source static 172.16.1.3 12.0.0.4 IP NAT inside source static private IP 172.16.1.4 and 12.0.0.5. Copy these configurations, paste in our router, okay? Right. So now try to access from internet. So from outside, okay, from here. So from these three systems, we should be able to access these servers with the public IP, not a private IP, okay? So go to here and here command, web server, browser, http ://public IP, okay, 12.0.0.3. Don't use private IP, okay? Oh, we are unable to access, right? 12.0.0.3. Why? Why we are unable to access? So now verify here, start troubleshooting. So from here, right? So this is 192.16.1.2 and 1.1 gateway. What is the ISP router configuration? F0 by 0. Okay, correct, right? And here F0 by 0 IP address 172.16.1.1/24. F0 by 1 IP 192.1.1.1. Okay, correct. Servers are configured or not? Oh, okay. 12.0.0.3, right? So 12.0.0.3, I configured to which address, which system? 172.16.1.3. Okay, 1.2. Where is 1.2? 1.2, this one, right? Okay, 1 second. This is 1.2 and this IP, this one, and 1.3, this one, correct, and 1.4 4 and IP address 12.0.0.5. But why it is not picking? I already configured default route, right? See, verify the default route, show IP route. Yeah, we have a default route towards 12.0.0.2. Why I am unable to ping? Request m.12.0.0.3. Okay, I will try another one. HTTP colon slash slash 12.0.0.4. Okay, so from start configuration, troubleshooting, show run. In the R1, we have configured F0 by, oh, okay. I forgot one command, right? So actually what is command we forgot here? We forgot inside and outside, okay? So that is also very, very important, okay? So we need to mention what is the inside interface, what is the outside interface. So interface F0 by 0, IP NAT inside. Where is F0 by 0 inside means the traffic is actually coming from through this interface, right? And the interface F1 by 0, IP NAT outside. Okay, don't forget these two commands. Okay, you should mention inside and outside interfaces. So here, so now try to access. So I think this time we should connect. Okay, HTTP colon slash slash 12.0.0.4. See, example.com. And if you try to access 12.0.0.3 xyz.com, 12.0.0.5 abc.com, right? So this is static NAT. So any user in the internet can access our servers with the public IP address. This is the static IP, static NAT. Static NAT means one-to-one translation. Okay, so it translates one public IP to one private IP only. See here, outside users are accessing our server with the public IP. Okay, now I will enable simulation and I will show you. Okay, so here click on simulation and click on here. So go to browser. So here 12.0.0.3, right? 12.0.0.3. See now here, if you see the packet, what is the source IP? Source IP is 182.16.1.2. Destination IP is 12.0.0.3. Public IP. And the source port number is 1033 and destination port number is 80. This is the packet. So first this packet comes to router. Then this router will simply forward to our router, edge router. Okay, it will not change anything here. See, same source IP is 182.16.1.2, destination IP is 12.0.0.3. Right, no changes. And this ISP router will send this packet to our edge router. Now our edge router will perform NAT. See here, the source IP remains same 182.16.1.2, but destination IP changed here 12.0.0.3 to 172.16.1.2. So here router perform destination NAT. It is also known as destination NAT because it is translating destination IP address. It is not translating source IP address. But as per the Cisco, it is called static NAT. But as per the remaining vendors like FortiGate, Palo Alto, Checkpoint, it is called destination NAT. And it will forward to server. When server is responding, in the response packet, what is the source IP? Source IP is 172.16.1.2, server IP, original IP. Destination IP 182.16.1.2. And again, first packet comes to router. Again, this router will remove that private IP 172.16.1.2. See, remove that IP and it will replace with 12.0.0.3. and right destination IP 192.16.1.2 and forward, right? This is static NAT. Static NAT is one-to-one translation. The main difference between static NAT and PAT, I will explain one more time. The main difference between PAT and static NAT. PAT translates source IP and source port number in packet. This is the one. The second one is PAT translates many private IPs to single public IP. Next one, static NAT. Static NAT translates destination IP. Static NAT translates one public to one private IP. This is main difference between PAT and static NAT. And one more point is PAT is used for outbound communication. NAT is used for inbound communication. Sorry, static NAT is used for inbound communication. Okay, this is the main difference between static NAT and port address translation. Okay, so in next session we will discuss about dynamic NAT. Okay.